What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this one I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make the security breach Atrium. This is part 9, and in this one we're going to be doing those banner letters. We're getting all of them done, because it might as well get them out of the way. And we're also going to be finishing marking that bottom layer with the blue terracotta here, along with getting the doors in, and some of the front wall where the show stage is. Anyway, that is all. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. Alright, y'all ready for banner letters? Because I'm not. We're just going to immediately start. I'm not even going to say anything else. We're going to start by the furthest left one and then going across. And I think for most of these, we can fit it in one inventory. So smack a loom down and wherever. I'll just put it here, and I will continue to use this one. So the first one is going to be the fried treats sign, and for these you need brown banners along with obviously brown dye and white dye. Open your loom and pop in your first banner, and you're going to pop in your white dye into the line across the middle and top, which is Fess and Chief Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter. Next one in, you're going to do the line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Pop in a singular brown dye into the full bottom half as brown, which is Perfess Invert. White dye back in, line across center, which is Fess. Line across top, which is Chief Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter, and then that diagonal from top left to bottom right, which is Bent. Next one in, line down the center with white, which is Pale. Next one in, line down the left, which is Pale Dexter, and then all three lines going left to right, which is Chief Fess, Base Fess, and Fess. Next one in, you're going to do the line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Pop in your brown dye and do the lozenge pattern. White dye back in, line across top and bottom, which is Chief Fess and Base Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter. That is one word. Thankfully for us, the other word uses some of the same letters, so pop in your next brown banner and do the line across top, which is Chief Fess, and line down the center, which is Pale. We already have R and E, so we just have to do A and S actually left. Brown banner in, white dye at the top, which is Chief Fess. Singular brown dye in, you'll do the lozenge pattern. White dye back in, line down right and left, which is Pale Sinister and Pale Dexter. Line through the center, which is Fess. One more banner, which is the S. You'll do line across top and bottom, which is Chief Fess and Base Fess. Diagonal from top left to bottom right, which is Bend. Fried task. Fried tool assisted speedrun. Okay. That's a gamer joke. You want to take the yellow concrete sign. Here and going left to right, you're going to place the banners in the following order. You're going to do F, R, I, E, D, T, R, E, A, T, S. Sounds like I'm spelling things so my dog doesn't hear me. Anyway, there's your first one out of 6. Something like that. That is also not the longest, in case you guys wanted bad news. You can get rid of all your banners and stuff. And the next one is thankfully short for us. You need blue banners, along with obviously blue dye, and light blue dye. We're going to have a lot of the same banners. I'm just warning you of that now. This one has 4 of the same that we just made, but with different colors. Put in your light blue dye and do the line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Blue dye in, lozenge pattern. Well, okay, that's not what I asked, but close enough. Light blue back in and do line across top, bottom, and down the left. Next one in, line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Blue dye in, full bottom half with the blue. Light blue back in, line through the center, and line across the top, which is Fess and Chief Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter, and then the diagonal from top left to bottom right, which is Bend. Next one in, hardest one for real, line directly down the center, which is Pale. That's it. Next one, line down right and left, which is Pale Dexter and Pale Sinister, or whatever. A diagonal from top left to bottom right, which is Bend. Next one is really, really scuffed. I am warning you of that right now. Generally, I do the full left half as light blue, which is per pale. Both diagonal lines, and then I leave it there. However, for some reason, I did like just the line on the left, both diagonals, and then I did the weird like squares in the top two corners. We're gonna stick with this cake because I think this one looks better, but yeah, I don't know what I was thinking that looked good for, because it doesn't, frankly. Next banner in, you're gonna do line across top and bottom, and then the diagonal from top left to bottom right. And you'll just pop these on the magenta in the order that we made them. And hopefully as you place these, you'll notice that your spacing is perfect. I think for some of them... Well, it's actually... I can check real quick. No, I don't think it ended up being the case for any of them, where there would have been, like, spaces for between the words, but... yeah. Next thing you're going to need are brown banners, along with, again, obviously the brown dye and yellow dye. So almost the same as the other one. Where is my station? Here it is. Oh yeah, I can get rid of these as well. I guess I'll do that real quick. You can put in your first brown banner, along with your yellow dye. I don't even know what I did for this one, to be honest. Oh no, yes I do. So for the B, this was absolutely scuffed. I'm going to give you the better B design here. Put in your brown banner and your yellow dye and do the line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Brown dye in, you'll do the lozenge pattern. Yellow dye back in, you'll do line through the center, left to right, which is Fess, and then line across top and bottom, and then line down the left. That is the much better B. I started with a yellow banner here and did some weird things. I'm not really sure, but I think this one looks better. Next brown banner in, you'll do line across bottom, which is base Fess, and then line down the right and left. Next one is the R again. Hopefully you're used to this one. Line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Brown dye in. Full bottom half is brown. Yellow back in. Line down the left. Whoa, that looks so weird. Line across top. Line left to right to the center. And then that diagonal from top left to bottom right. For the G, I need to make sure that I get this one right, because this is definitely one that will confuse me. Brown banner in, you want to do the line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Brown dye in, you'll do the full top half as brown, which is perfect. Yellow back in, you'll do line across the bottom and top, which is base Fess and chief Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter. Next one in, all three lines going left to right. And then line down the left, which is Pale Dexter. And then you want your S banner again, so you're brown and yellow in, line across top and bottom, and then the diagonal from top left to bottom right. And these will be on the light blue. You'll go left to right and you'll place them pretty much in the same order you've made them. Only thing is, before the S, you do want another R. You spell out burgers. I want a burger now. Come back to your loom, and we can get rid of all of the previous stuff. And the next one, I want to say is ice cream, unless I'm missing one. I feel like it's ice cream, though. This is one of the few that makes sense. Does it, actually? I might have just lied to you. Yeah, I lied to you. You need magenta banners. I guess it's close enough. Again, obviously the magenta dye as well, and then white dye. This one should be fairly easy overall, because none of the letters here are weird. Magenta banner in, white dye in, you want to do the line down the center, which is just pale, and that's your first banner. Next one, line down the right, which is Pale Sinister. Magenta dye in, and you want to do the line left to right through the center, which is Fess. White dye back in, line across top and bottom, which is Chief Fess and Base Fess. Line down the left, which is Pale Dexter. Next one in, all three lines going left to right. And then line down the left. R again, line down the right with white, which is Pale Sinister. Magenta in, full bottom half with magenta. Back to the white, you'll do line left to right through the center and across top. Line down left, diagonal from top left to bottom right. A banner, this one should also be familiar if you followed multiple of my tutorials, because I use this A so much. Chief S with the white. Magenta die in, you'll do the lozenge pattern. White die back in, you'll do line down, right and left, which is pale sinister and pale dexter, and then line through the center, which is fast. M banner, I'm gonna just go off the grid here from what I originally did. You want to do the inverted chevron with white, which is that triangle at the top. Magenta die in, you want to do the funny little teeth at the top, which are chief indented. Now it kind of looks like a heart, except it's not a heart at all. Line down the left and right, which is pale dexter and pale sinister. And I'll throw all these in my hotbar, and then we can head to the pink. On the pink, you hopefully can spell ice cream. It's I-C-R-E-A-M. That looks so weird non-spaced, like between the ice and the cream. I don't know. We, I think, can save ourselves a little bit of hassle here with some block picking. If you head back over to the burgers, can we take any? We can take the S. Wow, how generous. That's the only letter we can take, though. That figures. Either way, we'll make more. Oh, wait, can we take any? Oh, no, because it's red, right? Never mind. You do still need brown banners along with brown and yellow dye, then. And I'll throw the S a few sauce back. P-A-S. First brown banner in along with the yellow dye. I'll do the line down the right, which is pale sinister. Brown dye in, full bottom half is brown. Yellow back in, line... same as the R, basically, except minus a diagonal. Line through the center, which is Fess, and then you also want Chief Fess. And then line down left. Brown banner in, yellow line along top. Brown dye in, you want the lozenge. Yellow back in, line down right and left. And then to the center. That'd be an interesting lowercase n, actually. I just thought of that. Next brown banner in, you'll do line across top, and then line down the center. Head to the next one, and you can, on the red concrete here, go P-A-S-T-A. That's not an A. There we go. One more left, and I want to say the background for this is green. Yeah, you have green banners and white letters. So, green banners, green dye, and white dye. This one has the most banners to make out of any of them. I am just gonna say that right now. We might actually have more than a hotbar's worth. I'm not positive, though. First off, a green banner and then white dye, and you'll start with an S. So do line across top and bottom, and diagonal from top left to bottom right. Next one in, line across top, which is Chief S. Green dye in with the lozenge diamond pattern. White dye back in with the line down the right and left. And then line to the center. Next one in, line across bottom, which is base fest, and then line down the left, which is pale dexter. Next one in, line down the right, which is pale sinister. Green dye in, you'll do the lozenge pattern. White dye back in, line across top and bottom. Line down the left. Here's a fun one. We want to do the and symbol. Or what is it? What's the official term for it? It's some weird word that I can never remember. But if anybody has it, let me know. Put in your green banner and you want to start with pretty much doing an E. So you want to do the base fest, chief fest, and fest, which are the three lines to the center. You'll do pale dexter, which is line down the left. And then you want to do put in a green dye and do the border pattern. Or border, whatever you want to call it. White dye back in, and it'll do the line down the center, which is pale. For the other word, you'll put in a green dye and do the line down the center, which is pale again. Next green dye in, you'll do an actual E for real this time. Line, all three lines going left to right. And then line down the left. Salad and sides. Okay, yeah, just spelling it out there. You can break the loom now, and you can head over to the far left one. And going left to right, you'll place them in this order. You'll go S, A, L, A, D, S, and a symbol, S, I, D, E, S. And then you can get rid of all the banner letters and anything that corresponds to them. Okay, that only took 15 minutes, which is great. Felt like an eternity, but, you know, that's fine. So we're done with that for now, which is great. I mean, there's some details we'll have to add around them, but we can't really do much with that without a floor, and yeah, that's it, I guess. There's nothing else to it. Get out the following. Gray concrete, blue terracotta, cyan terracotta, I don't really think there's anything else. I honestly feel like that's fine. Yeah. So at the end of the blue terracotta wall here, moving forward on the left, you'll place a row of gray concrete that extends one higher so it's in line with the ceiling. You want to take that gray concrete in the ceiling and extend it forward by 12. And then extend down from that block by, what is it, 6? 7 down. Place another row of 7 in front of that. Or 8, I guess, because you want the top block. And then from there, you will again extend forward by 12. And then down by 7. Off of this bottom gray concrete, I will extend forward with 7 blue terracotta, 2 cyan terracotta, and then 49 blue terracotta. Like so. From this point, you can place another gray concrete on the end here. Again, extend it up by 7. And then I'm assuming that it is the same? No, actually, it is not the same. You'll extend forward by 13. And then down by 7. Then extend forward with 4 blue. Right by 2. Place a gray concrete and extend it up by 7. If you have to break blue for this, that is fine. You will then extend right by 13. Down by 7. Or, yeah. Yeah. Right with a blue. Then you'll go back by 3. Back diagonally right. I guess forward diagonally right, technically. Forward. Forward diagonally right 2. Right. Forward diagonally right. Right by 7. Forward diagonally right. Right by 2. Forward diagonally right by 3. Forward 2. Forward diagonally right, and then you'll go... You should end up kind of just like inside of the mangrove right now. You'll just bring this blue terracotta forward until you're in line with that final mangrove slab here, which should be there. Nice. Ah, God, that's so bright to look at. There's a couple things we have to do here that are going to be helpful. So first off, I'm going to bring each blue terracotta and cyan terracotta up until they connect either into something or just fill in the gap from the underside here. And yeah, honestly, these are pretty much the last steps we need before we can fill in our floor, because the floor will end up going around some of the sections here. Or like, we'll have a marker to actually see where the floor will end, at least on these sides. I don't know about the, like, front back part of where the... Okay, there... I thought I heard my dog go at my door, and I was like, is there a dog there? And I just heard her walk away, so yes, in fact, there was a dog at my door. What do you want from me? What am I? Whatever. I don't know. I'm just like minding my business, you know? Anyway. Entirely unrelated. Just interesting to point out. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I didn't say that yet. I am for the most part. I don't know. There's nothing really to say here. This is really starting to like shape up though. That lower level there, like as I'm here, that gives it so much more, 100%. I gotta finish the kitchens under there too. Aww, I don't think I've even started the pizza kitchen. I have the salads and sides bar done, and I know I have the area behind it marked, but I don't think any of it has been furnished in any way. So that's, you know, exciting. We'll go with that. That's gonna be my wordage choice. Sure. Anyway, the next step is bringing each gray concrete and cyan terracotta out a row, which is gonna be, you know, or I guess in a row technically would make more sense. I guess out a row you'll need to do eventually anyway, at least for the gray. But we'll worry about that once we get there. I know we did it on the other side already, but it's fine. Being symmetrical does not... It's not fun. It's too easy. Again, you will have to break some blue terracotta for the gray that is embedded in the ceiling. That's fine. Just break it. It does tend to happen. Loving the random gap layers everywhere in this build. There's so many walls that just don't line up perfectly. It's amazing. Love having cubby holes in all of my walls. Anyway, you should have this. We can actually mark the other side, I think. Because, again, that'll be very helpful for us in order to be able to do the floor. Although we aren't going to... I'm not going to tackle that at the end of this part because I'm not quite prepared to do all that. But if you head to the Roxy Raceway sub-lobby door over here that is closed off. I was trying to say, like, it was, you know, covered by cloth, and I was trying to figure out how to word that, which technically clothed wasn't wrong. I don't know. You want to take the right row of gray concrete and extend it forward by 4, left by 2, then place a gray, extend it up by 7, then that top block you will extend left by 13, down by 7, then you're gonna go left by 1, forward 3, forward diagonally left, forward diagonally left 2, left, forward diagonally left, left by 7, forward diagonally left, left by 2, forward diagonally left 3, forward 2, forward diagonally left, and again you'll go all the way forward with blue until you're in line with the final mangrove slab, which is right there. And again, I'll fill up this wall, and that'll be the lower level marked other than the atrium wall, which we can't really do, I think, at this point. I don't know if it's actually important, because we're going to fill the floor in 2 separate segments, which aren't probably going to be back-to-back anyway. So I don't think the... Yeah, I don't think it matters. Well, I guess actually the ends of it do, because we have to mark where exactly they end on the atrium wall, since they don't end just on the blue terracotta, they do go further in. Okay, it's blinding to look at those, like, directly at the lights. Keep getting flashbanged every time I do it. Same thing here, you're gonna bring this gray concrete doorway in a row, just so it... I don't know, so it's doorwaying properly. Do you want to fill these in? I don't see why not. Yeah. Let's start with the one at the left. I want to say that these two closest to the stage are the same, but we'll get there when we get there. So clear your inventory and get out the following. Polished blackstone. Polished blackstone stairs. Polished blackstone walls. Orange wool. Cyan wool. That's all. In this doorway here, you're going to take the backmost row of gray concrete, not this outer one, this one here in line with the blue, and you're going to place a row of polished blackstone at the bottom. You can see where that's positioned. Going left to right, I'm going to do the following. I'll place a stair facing right, 2 facing forward, 1 facing left. Then going right, I'll place 4 walls, stair facing right, 2 stairs facing forward, and then a stair facing left. Copy that row one more time, but these stairs are upside down instead of being not upside down. That's the difference. I don't know. Each row from this point will go left to right into. You want to start with 4 orange, 6 cyan, orange, cyan. Next row, 3 orange, 5 cyan, orange, cyan, 2 orange. Next row, 2 orange, cyan, orange, 5 cyan, 3 orange. Final row, cyan, orange, 6 cyan, 4 orange. Nice. You can see the shapes are actually inverted. They're like the same, just coming out of opposite corners. As for the other doorway that he's kind of in the same area, which if you literally just go across, it's on that same wall. It is in fact the exact same, so if you remember that, go for it again. I'll go over it still because patterns. Again, row of polished blackstone at the bottom. Going left to right, you'll place a stair facing right, 2 facing forward, 1 facing left, 4 walls, stair facing right, 2 facing forward, and then 1 facing left, and then you'll copy that upside down. Or with the stairs upside down, I should say. Going left to right, each row from this one you want to start with 4 orange, 6 cyan, orange, cyan. Next row you'll place 3 orange, 5 cyan, orange, cyan, 2 orange. Next row is actually, the next two will be the same as those, just each of them are inverted. So you'll go left to right with this row and you'll do 2 orange, cyan, orange, 5 cyan, 3 orange. And then final row you'll go cyan, orange, 6 cyan, 4 orange. You can get rid of the cyan wool and get out green and purple wool instead, and we can do the next door. This one is a little bit larger than the other two, so we're going to have to do them separately. But this one, you'll start with a row of polished blackstone at the bottom, same deal. Same thing for the next 2 rows with the stairs facing the odd directions, and then the 4 walls in the middle still. 1, 2, 3, 4... Boom. And then from this point going left to right, it's going to be a different adventure. You want to start with 7 green wool, purple, green, orange, green, purple. Next row, still going left to right, it'll be purple, 2 green, orange, 2 green, purple, 2 green, 2 purple, green. Next row, green, 2 purple, 2 green, purple, 2 green, purple, 2 green, orange. Next row and final one. 3 green, 2 purple, 2 green, purple, green, purple, 2 green. If I have to make one of these doors again, I'm going to explode. Unfortunately, we have to make another one of these doors. Twice. If you head along this wall to this, where you have 2 doors, each of these are the same. You're starting with the row of polished blacks on the bottom. What's different here is when you place these stairs are the same. However, between these stairs, instead of 4 walls, you'll have 3. That's the only thing that changes for the bottom here. And as we do the actual pattern going up, it will be a little bit different as the previous one, but I'll say it anyway. And I'll only go over it once, because we'll do both simultaneously. Kind of. I'll do row by row, probably. So, going left to right, you'll start with the following. 7 green, purple, green, orange, green. And I'll do the other one immediately. Next one, purple, 2 green, orange, 2 green, purple, 2 green, 2 purple. So it is... Oh, nope, it was that. I knew there was 2 purple somewhere. Just at the end. Next one, green, 2 purple, 2 green, purple, 2 green, purple, green, orange. So, I'm cheating. If you are having troubles following it, you can always watch the same thing twice. Like, do each one individually. Next one, you'll go 3 green, 2 purple, 2 green, purple, green, purple, green. And there you go. There are your doorways. Now, couple minor things we can start to touch up on. First off, I'm going to get out smooth quartz blocks, and I'm going to actually follow this wall that I'm on all the way to the end where the eventually stage will be. I think I said atrium earlier, but it's stage. I mean, it is still the atrium, technically. It just, it's not the right word. Take the top left blue terracotta, which should be this one. Try not to look at the lights, they hurt. You want to count right by 2 and down by 2, and you're going to break the next 3 blue going down and replace them with smooth quartz. From there, you'll go down diagonally right, right 2, up diagonally right, up 2, up diagonally left, and then left 2. Inside of this, the very center blue will become a smooth quartz, and the that's the target logo. The smooth, or the blue left, right, and below that one will also be smooth quartz, which will kind of look like a steering wheel. It looks like it's a steering wheel. There's no denying it. I'll clear my inventory, but you don't necessarily have to, and get out magenta concrete. And this one row here you actually have sticking out, you'll bring down until you're in line with the bottom blue, like so. If I take this bottom magenta, I'll extend left by 1. Then I'll go... If I'm looking towards the open side, I'll go back diagonally left. Left by 3. Back diagonally left. Left by 4. Back diagonally left. Left by 8. Gotta make sure that was correct. Yep. And then I will go back diagonally left. And then left by... We'll go 19. That's all you really need. We don't need to bring this up or anything. The only reason we're doing this now is so we can actually have the marking for the floor for probably next part. If you head to the right, or the other side, which is the left, you should have this little red terracotta blurb here, kind of. Where it is in line with, or you can get out blue terracotta first, but where it's in line with the red concrete here, you'll actually extend it down with blue terracotta until you're in line with the bottom blue. You'll then extend that bottom blue right with a magenta, and this should be the same pattern. You'll go back diagonally right, right 3, back diagonally right, right 4, back diagonally right, right by 8, back diagonally right, and then we'll go right by 19. And the space you're left with is roughly the size that your stage will be. Obviously, it's not perfect, but because the stage is also like it's kind of shaped like a doll head, I'm not gonna lie. So, do we want to actually mark the floor? We could. We definitely could. Tell you what we're going to do. You want to take this magenta, and it'll be easier to mark this on the left, I think. You'll extend, I'll say this for this left magenta, you'll extend it up until you have the glass panes on the upper layer. You should. You'll be in line with those, and then you will go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks higher. Like so. And yeah, we'll go with that for now. And where you have the red terracotta, you don't want to bring it that high, but you can end up actually bringing it up just to fill in the little weird, like, angled gap that you have here. I'm not sure why this wall is a different color, but, you know, we'll deal with that later. And as for the underside of this, it'll be blue terracotta. The, like, underside of this little weird triangle that sticks out. So, yeah. What I'm going to end up doing is filling in this side, and then I'm just going to take note of the top coordinate here for the Y when I stand on it, and I'll just pretty much bring up to that point on the other side. Just lining up to some capacity like that. We'll fix the way the panes aren't clinging in a little bit here, which is not important yet. But, yeah. And we'll finally actually have something on our back wall, which will be nice. So, next part, we're gonna... It's just gonna be a lot of marking where the floor would be pretty much on, like, all capacities. Because we might just rip both out at the same time. I was thinking about doing it to where they were separate. But the more that I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, it would just be easier to do both levels at the same time. Only thing is, as much as this may be a little bit counterproductive, I'm going to have you fill all of the floor, and then we're going to go back and remove the sections that have stuff in them rather than embedding them in. I know it's really not ideal, but it frankly is not ideal either way. Like, we're either having to work around those, or just having to break for them, so... You know, it's not particularly a great circumstance, but... Yeah, I'm just gonna do that. I think that's right. It might be wrong, but I guess we'll find out pretty quickly, won't we? Magenta, concrete... I've gotten into the habit of... Okay, no, I was right. Gotten into the habit of doing the coordinate first, because normally I do tildes first for my current coordinate, but I started doing it the other way around because of the backrooms map, where I'd have to copy both coordinates in, so I could fill areas larger than what you can fill by doing the tilde trick. Basically, the reason that works is because of the simulation distance is basically a radius around you, so like, think of you being the center of the circle, and because slash fill has to be within that circle, all of it does. If you move to, like, the center of where you're doing the command between the 2 points, you can essentially reach both points more efficiently than if you were doing it otherwise. Something I should have probably gone over in the slash fill video, but yeah, you can also accomplish the same with 2 people using both their circles. But yeah, still a little fun slash fill fact for you, I guess. But yeah, I try to use that to my advantage as often as I can. Do I want to fill that? I don't know what happens with that gray concrete, which is why I'm a little scared to fill further than it. I'll check. I feel like the wall comes out there, but I have no idea. You should have this. Yeah, so the wall does actually come out there a little bit. The way that we're going to approach that is we're not actually yet. The only thing that we will do, though, is on the left side where you have the glass panes. I mentioned we were going to fix this issue. Just the magenta under the panes here, this backmost one, you're going to bring that magenta along with the glass pane back with magenta, and I'll just keep bringing this row up. So you have a full extra row there, pretty much. And yeah, hard to explain, but hopefully you can kind of see where I just placed another row behind the pins. On the other side, we can actually kind of do the same thing. Pretty much what you're ending up doing is, if you stopped before the gray like I did, you have 2 rows of magenta here, just to the left, these like 2 rows. The end row here, you'll end up taking the top, what is it? The top 8 blocks and just extending another row to the left. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you see if you actually take the bottom of this, you can trace this across, and it should be just under this top level here, the same spot that you did. Alternatively, you could have, I guess, gone forward to that line, but that's too easy. So yeah. Once we are really caring about the, like, top of this, we'll deal with that more. But as of right now, really dealing with a lot of that magenta isn't important. I just wanted to bring that up since we were there and we had a little bit of extra time in this part. But anyway, once you're done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 9 of your security breach. Atrium complete? Yeah, that is correct as far as parts. So again, next part, we're just going to be doing a lot of marking for where the floor will reside and things like that, and just kind of getting set up for that. And then I'll explain the floor pattern hopefully, and we can do it. Oh no, I'm seeing how big the sections are in that center. I thought it was like thin strips of magenta, but they're just giant rectangles, so we'll probably build those in with it. There is one part we're not going to build in with it, I know, but it's easier that way, trust me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this, I don't know if I said that. I might have already said that. I forgot. Either way, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.